So if I look at this display, I see that my mic is moving. And if all is going well, what you are seeing is my monitor. So I'm going to minimize that. It's going to run in the background. Here is Restream. Let me see about going live on this. Okay, now it says we're live on Restream. And let's see if we're going to go down and online, sending data to Twitch, sending data to LinkedIn, which it's not going to work. I should just turn LinkedIn off. Although I did want to I did want to show you that LinkedIn now is part of Restream.io. And as I understand, you are seeing, this is what's over here. Okay, so now let me go to the Zoom meeting that I set up with Thresette, who just sent me a text saying that she's ready to go. You know what? I'm going to adjust my monitor brightness a little bit. I'm going to admit her. I do like to point out, though, that hi, Thresette. Hi. I like to point out that if your screen is too bright and you wear glasses, then all you see is the screen in your glasses. You'll notice that. So one trick I use is bringing the brightness level of my screen down a bit. Okay, so Thresette, we'll see if this works. Okay, so well, actually, I'm pretty sure it is working. We are simulcasting onto my personal Facebook page, my Twitter account, my Twitch account, my YouTube channel, and now LinkedIn is offered with this, although I don't have the rights to do that. But also with my phone, I am accessing the Social Media Dames page where if somebody has a question, I can look at the phone and tell you what the question is. How about that for high tech?
That's awesome. That is awesome. Is there glare in my glasses? Too much glare? Or
No,
what do
it's
you think?
not. It looks good. It looks really good. But that is one thing that I always keep in mind. I always make sure that the light is kind of from all around, nothing overhead too harsh, because that gives you really unflattering shadows. What you like is like this soft. And I will mention that Zoom, if you go into the video settings, has a touch up my appearance. I don't know if you availed yourself of that. It's what's giving me my youthful glow. What it does, it
Well, I'll
makes
definitely I'll have to avail myself of that because that sounds pretty good.
it just makes everything a little bit fuzzy. Now what I'm going to do on top of everything, I want to hide that. On top of everything, I'm going to pull up your presentation. God willing. And the techno geeks are on our side. This would be the first one right here. And I think we're going to go straight to 14. It seems to be taking a long time. This is the this is, you may not be able to see this. Maybe, oh no, you should be seeing what's on my screen, right?
No, did you hit share screen?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Hold on, let me go down. I just got a note that my Zoom meeting is going to start. Share screen.
Yeah, if you click on that, it should tell you that it's sharing. It should say something at the top of the screen that lets you know.
Okay,
There we go.
What does this
Well,
look like?
It's
Now
got your
I
Zoom
need
meeting.
to get back here.
Yes, there we go. And if you, I don't know if you can put it in show mode. There we go. All right, great.
Let me see.
Awesome.
I'm going to put us up here because it is going to record that too. And I don't want to block any of your presentation. But once again, it's on my personal page. It's on Twitch, which supposedly is the best resolution. You get the best content from Twitch, the best sound and video quality. So look at you taking a picture. Hi.
Yeah, let me see how that goes. Smile. All right.
See?
Yeah.
If you had a tripod, you could be doing a Facebook Live on your page next time.
I could. I sure could. So this looks cool.
Okay.
I'll share that. I'll share that afterwards.
So what I'm going to do, and once again, my phone is broadcasting to the social media dames page. Somebody is watching. I missed who entered. But
And
if somebody has a question, they can post it on the Facebook page. But I will always have questions. So is it 7 o'clock yet?
It is 6:57.
All
and
right.
I've noticed that when you're doing these and you're not the host, and or even when you are the host and your slides are in slideshow mode, for some reason you cannot see the chat box. Wait a minute, hang on, let me see. Okay, now I see it. Well, that just fixed itself, so never mind.
See, now I am not looking at the chat box right now, but the chat box is only accessible to the two of us. Only you and I can use the chat box. It's not just open willy-nilly. That's why I was saying if someone wants to ask a question, they can do so on the Facebook Live that I'm doing on the Social Media Dames page. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. So I'm going to share this to, share this to the High Performing Women group.
Right.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Is there a way you can turn your screen? It looks like it's at an angle to those watching, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me see if I can get it a little bit taller. Yeah, get a better angle. Oh, that's not a good angle. That ain't right. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get it a little bit taller. Yeah, get a better angle. Oh, that's not a good angle. That ain't right.
Turn it to your right. Turn your screen to your right. Kind of nudge it to the right.
See, as I do that, though, it shows the side of the room that I don't want to show. So now understand that when you download this content, it's not going to look like this. This is just the Facebook Live. But they can ask questions here. All right.
Okay, I apologize. I had to take my phone because I used my cell phone to do a watch party for the high performing women group. And I noticed that there was an echo of some sort or a little bit of delay. So I put my phone out there and hopefully the watch party is still going on. So if the watch party is still going on, hello, high performing women. Thank you for joining us. And I definitely look forward to your engagement.
Karen McAndrews just entered, and I'm waving to her on the Facebook page. So,
Hey, Karen.
so I do want to introduce you. Is it 7? I like to be so prompt.
Yes,
There
leave it in.
too often I don't pay attention to time, but with these, I like to start on time. So I just want to
Absolutely.
say my name is Amy Stark. I'm the CEO of Digital Dames Inc. And I want to share one of my favorite people in the world. She's been a storyteller through many unconferences. She's been really a friend and a confidant. And her name is Thresette Briggs. And I will let her introduce herself and tout her accomplishments before she shares her story.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Amy, for inviting me to be on Wisdom Wednesdays with the Dames. This is very cool. This is a great thing because we did not get to have the unconference this year, the Social Media Dames unconference. So this is great. This is a great substitute. And in our all virtual world, this is just wonderful. So hello, everyone. I am Thresette Briggs. I am the Chief Performance Officer of Performance 3. Performance 3 is a leadership development firm that provides services and products for virtual keynotes, virtual training, and virtual coaching and consulting. I was doing virtual prior to this, but now it's all virtual. So we provide those products for continuous improvement and organizational change. We work with global organizations with up to 10,000 employees and over 20 billion in revenue. And we work with partners in over 10 industries. So we have a great opportunity to help leaders really, really high perform. So that's who I am. And again, thank you, Amy, for the invitation.
Well, as I said, you're one of my favorite people, and I'm so glad you're here sharing your wisdom this Wednesday with us. And I don't have a timer, so I'm not going to time you, but I'm trusting you to stay within your 5 minutes on your story.
Well, I'll do my best. I think I timed it out, but a lot of time has passed since since March. But so I'll just start off, and if you could flip to the next slide, please. The name of my story is The Opposite of Fear. And I got to tell you, 2020 is shaping up to be a really interesting year. 2019 was a very challenging year for me. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in March of 2019, and regrettably, in November 2019, right before Thanksgiving, she passed away. And I cannot explain, I'm sure some of you understand that from losing a parent, but I cannot explain the fear that gripped me at the thought of losing her. When she was diagnosed, I got the opportunity to be her power of attorney, and I was juggling my business and taking care of my mom's administrative affairs. And I have to say a big thank you to my brother, who was there in my hometown in Kansas to do the heavy lifting on a day-to-day basis. So regrettably, as I said, she passed away in November. It was right before Thanksgiving. It was really, really tough. But before she passed away, she asked me to be the owner of her house, which is my childhood home. So again, I cannot explain the fear that gripped me and what I experienced. Next slide, please. Mm-hmm. Everything on this slide is what I felt in 2019. I felt it on almost a daily basis, at least one of these things. And you can imagine the immobilizing things that happen when you feel this kind of fear. I mean, defective, like I couldn't do anything right. I couldn't focus. I felt weak. I felt like I was neglecting things, and I felt guilty and helpless. And all those things started coming into my spirit and really making me feel that I could not do what I was needing to do. I love those acronyms for fear, like, false evidence appearing real, and face everything and rise, and anything else that you come up with for fear, for that acronym. But the reality is that while these inspirational acronyms are great, when you're in the midst of fear, the best thing you need is to ask the question, how can I get to the other side? Because those inspirational things are wonderful. What you really need in the midst of fear, when it grips you, is to understand how to get out of it. So you really need a how. And so, Amy, you know that I'm a faith-based woman.
Yes.
I'm a faith-based business owner. So I really, really leaned into that. And what I was led to do instead of becoming immobilized by fear is to focus on the opposite side of fear. And what does that look like for me? When you have something to focus on that's more positive, that can do something to sort of stop the fear from being so intense. And so I just leaned into my faith. And next slide, please. And what I felt I needed to embrace was these 5 things. I embraced leaning further into my faith and the courage that comes with that. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." I leaned into that. I embraced the trusting relationship seeds I planted. Throughout the year, and for many years, I've been planting seeds, and those seeds have bared fruit. So I leaned into those I planted to help me during a time when I could not really do some of the things I needed to do for my business, like a lot of business development or other things that would help it grow. I was concerned, of course, as a business owner, but I knew I planted a lot of seeds, so I leaned into those. I explained to my clients and different people what was going on, and they were really there for me. I embraced my childlike curiosity to help me face this new normal and think about what this situation could bring to my life and to my business. And I embrace what those that know me best always say about me, that I have the ability to stay calm in the midst of chaos. Now I guess they don't really know what's going on inside of me. I mean, you got that going on inside, but apparently people think I have a calmness about me. So that's a great thing. So I embraced that and said, what can that do for me? And then finally, I embraced the love for my village. And I was just vulnerable to whatever happened. I consider myself a strong woman, and strong people sometimes have difficulty being vulnerable. So I just leaned into that vulnerability, and whatever happened, happened. If I needed to cry somewhere, I cried. I just explained, I'm sorry, I gotta cry. This is too much for me. And then I got it together. But people understood, and they helped me. They shared their stories. They helped me to be what I needed to be at that time, so I could come out stronger on the other side of that fear. So by embracing these 5 things, I realized something very, very, very important. Next slide, please. This is what I found. Okay, we seem to be missing a slide.
Oh no.
All right.
Let me see.
Well,
no, hold on.
Okay.
We'll pause this. And one good thing about this replay, you'll be able to edit this part out. I can't get my mouse over there. It's got to be here because I used all of them. What does it look like? Is it this one?
Let me do this. Let me just talk through it. Instead of trying to find it, I'll just talk through it. I think that's better for our audience and for me as well.
Okay.
So we can use the time wisely. So here's what that slide would have said had it been here. What I learned when I embraced those 5 things of trust, of curiosity, that childlike curiosity, leaning into my faith, trusting the relationships I planted, when I embraced all those things, here's what I learned is that fear cannot stop purpose. Fear cannot stop what your purpose is here in life. So if you do those things, if you lean into the things, if you rely on your faith and you do what you're supposed to be doing, the fear you have cannot stop the purpose you're here for or the purpose in what that situation is. We know that things happen for a reason and there's a purpose to that. So because I embraced those things, I was able to do some pretty powerful things in 2019 that were aligned with my purpose. And those things were that I was able to serve. I am a National Association of Women Business Owner member, and I serve on the executive committee in Nauvoo, Indianapolis. I'm honored to say that I'll be serving again next year on the committee. I was able to, we can wait on that one.
Okay.
Yes, go back to the other one.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Yes, we'll stay there for a minute.
Okay.
In August 2019, I started a Facebook group called High Performing Women, and it has almost 400 followers. I was led to do that because I was leaning in to the things that I have here on this page. I was also led to do a gathering of high performing women that's coming up in October 10th, and it's far enough away now that I think it still may happen. I'm still planning on it happening. It's still on as far as I know. We'll watch different things that are happening in the world, but right now it's still on, and I look forward to gathering high performing women together and us supporting and inspiring each other like we do on that page. And one thing I did that was really, really important to me to honor my mom is that I became a 2020 ambassador for the American Cancer Society's Research Hers ambassador program. And I did that to honor mom, to honor my dad, to honor my father-in-law, to honor my grandmother, who all passed away, unfortunately, of cancer. And many of you have people out there who have as well. So I did it for that. And I did it for them, and I also did it for my sister, who is a cancer survivor. And so there's many reasons that I wanted to do that, but I mainly wanted to honor mom's legacy and the legacy of everyone in my family that was impacted by it. So because I leaned into the things I did, because I realized that fear can't stop purpose, I was still able to do some very powerful things. And guess what? Those things got me to the other side of fear. Do I still have fear? Sure. We all do, especially with what's happening in the world right now. A lot of people are in some serious fear. They're gripped. Are they going to eat? Are they going to have a job? There's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that are going through their mind. But when we think about the how and focus on our purpose, lean into the things that we are strongest at and that we are gifted with, we can get to the other side. My business continues to grow. So next slide, please. And while I thought that, oh my goodness, my business is going to suffer, it did not really suffer like I thought. Sure, there were some things I couldn't do, but because I leveraged the less is more social media strategy that I shared at last year's Social Media Dames Unconference, I was able to strengthen my company value proposition. I increased visibility and my return on investment from all those 3,400 LinkedIn followers that I have. That's my social media that I think is most valuable to the type of business I do. And then I gained 3 additional global clients. And because I've continued to lean into that strategy this year, when this pandemic hit, and when everything else happened, guess what? During this time, I've gained clients. I cannot tell you how powerful getting to the other side of fear can be. I think if you focus on those things you're good at, lean into them, be strengthened by them, you will get that how, and you will get to the other side of fear. And that's what I wanted to share in my story. And I'm ready for the questions now.
Well, I've got a couple of questions. Let me stop sharing. Yeah, I'm having mouse problems. Really, why is my mouse acting like this? Okay, so I wish I could switch so that you're on the other side closer. I guess I can't. Oh, but you look really good. You really
Well,
look
that's
good.
good. You too.
I'm just noticing you've got some groovy art behind you, and there's a whole site now that judges backgrounds, and I
Really?
guess having books behind you now is just passe. You're not supposed to do that. So
Well, they
I'm
say you're supposed to have, where it's focused mostly on you. Now, the one thing I did probably noticed is I put my P3 cup behind
I
me,
see
just
that.
as a little bit of swag. So
I
I
see that.
love my
Uh,
neat little cup.
so you said, what does lean in mean to you? What does I've heard that phrase used a lot, but you mentioned a couple of times you leaned into it. What does that mean? What did that look like?
Well, and you know, that Sheryl Sandberg has a whole book about it,
Mm.
and it's not so much about her book and how she did it. It's about how I leaned into the things that would sustain me during a time of serious fear. You know, how can I get out of this fear, get to the other side of fear? These are the things that I lean towards. Maybe that's a better term. I lean toward them. I leaned into whatever came from those things.
So you
I did
didn't
not,
back away from it. You
exactly.
didn't
I
try
didn't
to
resist
back
it.
away. You just faced it right up front and like confronted. Is that a word you might use? Confronted it?
Um, I think confronting it is what I did when I leaned into those things. I don't see it as confronting fear so much, because you can confront fear, but if you don't have a how you're going to confront it, it's still there, and you're just there battling with it, and you don't seem to be able to get to the other side of it because you don't know how. So I leaned into how I could get to the other side of fear, and that was my way of confronting it. Yes.
So fear was the hashtag that was supposed to happen on Friday the 13th of March,
Yes.
and 5 o'clock uh, on March 12th, the governor put the kibosh on me, not just me personally, but any gathering. So it wasn't anything that I had control over. But when I will never forget, it started raining. I was on my way to pick up the food from Beef and Board's Dinner Theater. Chef Odell had made a beautiful platter for me, and I was on the way there when I got the call saying it was canceled. So after I went in and talked to Odell and was so sad because I couldn't hug him. I haven't hugged anybody since probably February, now that I think about it, which really stinks.
Yeah, I think us huggers are really struggling. So
Yeah.
we,
But when I sat in the car and I looked like a drowned rabbit, and I just wanted to get the word out to the Facebook page, the social media dames page right away that it was canceled. I really felt an outpouring of love, um, uh, uh, empathy, and it was a real strong sense that I had to change that hashtag from fear to love. And I noticed that you had that. That was one of the words in that one slide. So
Absolutely.
do you view love as the opposite of fear?
Well, I think I don't I don't view it as the opposite of fear. I view it as something that conquers fear.
Okay.
I see the opposite of fear as words like courage and boldness and strength. But love is something that trumps all of those and can conquer fear just by the love. And that's why I say on that page where I show those 5 things I embraced, most of all was the love of my village. I mean, not a lot of people have seen me at my worst, and those folks saw me at my worst and they loved me and just helped me unconditionally. It's just nothing like the love of your family and your village to take you through a rough time. So they did all those things that I had on those pages. They helped me do them because of the love that surrounded me by those folks. I mean, I don't want to even start saying names because I'll miss somebody and somebody might get upset. But but
Right.
it was just everybody around me that I have around me at my worst times. They came, they pulled out all the stops. They were right there for everything I needed. So I am truly, truly, truly thankful to them and I love them so much. I mean, colleagues, family, friends, people from all different parts of my life. So it was wonderful.
So can you tell me a little bit about your work with NAWBO?
Sure. NABO is, as I said, the National Association of Women Business Owners. And I have been a part of that organization since 2011. I served in various capacities and for the last, since 2016, have served on the board and have been in different positions and will be serving in a officer role again this year. So the work there is basically helping other women business owners grow. I mean, I grow, I help other business women grow, and we have strong relationships that are all about helping women business owners specifically grow. Now, that doesn't mean we're male bashing or not about men. We love them as allies, but this is about
And
helping level the
customers.
playing field for women, and that's how it was founded. That's what it was founded on.
I think we love men as allies and customers.
Yeah,
We'd like them to spend the money on us for a while. Um,
yeah.
so, so tell me a little bit about your work with the American Cancer Society.
Well, it is. It is. I don't work for them. What I am is a 2020 ambassador for their research HERS, capital letters HERS,
Okay.
because we are supporting research that is led by women scientists. And that particularly appealed to me, especially since my mom just passed cancer and all the other people in my life, of course. But that appealed to me as a way to honor mom and to try to help the research that cancer does to hopefully, in some lifetime, cure this terrible disease. And so I am, of course, an ambassador, and that means I am fundraising. So I would ask anyone who would love to provide a donation to. I can send my page. I don't know if you want to put that out there where I would
Yeah,
put that, but
absolutely. You can put that on the link for the Facebook Live on the social media Dames page, and I will
okay,
share it around too.
thank
So be
you.
sure and put that link in. And how are you raising funds? Are you just driving traffic there, and or how are you? How does
Yes,
that work?
yes. It really just got kicked off. It was another one of those things that got delayed because of COVID-19, but it is kicked off and it will be for another couple of months. So I can put that on the page and we're driving all of the donations to that page. And that's how we're keeping track of it.
Okay,
So
okay.
I can put my page out there and I would just be it would be great if everybody out there can help me crush this goal. My goal is $2,500, but I'd be happy to exceed that.
All right.
So help me crush it,
I'll
everybody.
I'll see about helping you crush that. So
All
tell me
right.
about your business. Tell me about CP3
P3 is
or
a
P3.
yes,
I'm
yes,
looking
and
at
as
your
I as
cup
I mentioned
behind
at the
you here.
beginning of the that's okay at the beginning of the Zoom meeting or the live event. It's late in the day. We're getting
Oh, I
loopy
know.
from too many Zoom meetings, I think.
That's for sure.
But I started Performance 3 because we believe that everybody can be a high performer. And in my experience in corporate America, I saw a lot of people who were not necessarily in the right place, in the right culture, and had the right tools to be as high performing as they could be. So they couldn't really maximize their performance. So I launched my business to really focus on that, helping leaders high perform by providing those things. Keynotes help them get inspired to get a readiness for adopting a growth mindset so they truly can, because we know that's where it starts in the mind. The virtual and on site training, of course, is about building competencies to help them be their best. And we do that in a customized, fun, engaging way. And then the coaching and consulting is about helping them sustain new actions, new behaviors, new things they're learning so they can be their best and not revert back to old ways that they thought worked in times of pressure. So we help them sustain it through coaching and then long-term consulting. I also, as you know, Amy, have a coaching program that has been patented by the US Patent and Trademark Office. And I did that because I'm very passionate about the process of coaching to help leaders high perform. It supplements all the other things you do, and it's just kind of the glue that holds it all together. So that is what P3 is about. And we have those services, and you can imagine what 3 means. It started with, of course, how my faith and what I do and my gifts and strengths led me to do what I'm doing now. But it's also about the 3 services and products that we offer in my business. So I have a great network team, and I've worked with some great global clients and just excited about where we're going. In fact, we just passed 10 years this year.
Well,
So,
congratulations. A
yeah,
decade. That's a huge milestone.
it
Digital
truly is.
Dames won't celebrate their decade anniversary until 2024. So we've got 4 more years before we hit a decade.
Well, I'm rooting for you. It is exciting. I haven't been able to celebrate like I'd like to, but planning something for later this year, and it may be combined with the gathering for high performing women. Who knows?
And that was on October 10th.
Yes, it is on October 10th, and it's going to be at a very cool place called the VIP Center for Business Women. And I've been talking about it on the High Performing Women group page, and definitely looking forward to greeting the high performing women that can attend and just supporting and inspiring them and doing some really fun, cool things that day. I started that page because again, I believe everybody can be a high performer, but I also believe that women have somewhat of a unique challenge in that area. And we have to do different things to appear to be high performing. And sometimes we don't necessarily have the right culture simply because we're women, and the things that can go along with that sometimes when you don't have the right culture in place. So this is to help them provide tools and tips and other things that help them to be the highest performing person, woman they can be on their journey. And that definition could be different for everybody. I'm not telling you what high performing is for you, but I can help you discover it.
Well, high performing for me is hanging out with really smart women like you, smart, influential women who are making a difference in the world, who are helping organizations reach their peak performance. Is that safe to say? Is that a good phrase to use?
Yes, I like to say helping leaders high perform and maximize their performance. Yes.
Okay.
Peak is another good word. And I agree. I'm surrounded by fantastic, fabulous, smart women who help me like you have helped me so much in the social media arena. I have truly enjoyed being a storyteller in the social media days unconference. It's just, very and if anybody out there doesn't know Amy, you know that Amy is a groovy chick. So
A groovy chick.
groovy dame.
I was hoping for sexy chick, but I'll take groovy. 57 and groovy, I'll take that. But well, do you have
You can
any
be
part?
sexy too.
Okay, good. So do you have any parting words? We're coming up on our 40 minutes here. Even though, as we know with Zoom, if you have 3 or less participants, that 40-minute constricture doesn't hold. I will just mention, I don't know if you've updated your Zoom lately, but the new Zoom is going to be forced to update on May 30th. So I highly recommend everybody update beforehand. So if there are any glitches, you can make sure to work those out and not in a panic. Like I just panicked when I couldn't find that fourth slide for you and was looking everywhere. It's always good
Oh,
to make sure you have a run through. So
that's
I
great to
highly
know.
recommend.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, we're using several different technologies that are all free. I'm using, once again, open broadcasting software. It's an open source at zero cost groovy tool. I'm also using restream.io, so it will simulcast to several different locations at once, and of course Zoom. And I'm using Zoom mostly because there are several other tools out there like Facebook. The messenger rooms are they're very easy. I don't know if you've tried it. I invited somebody a couple of times. Well, actually, I invited my daughter one time and she jumped right in, and we had a screen similar to this where, it was each of us side by side. So that's a new technology to look out for. And Google Meet is wonderful. These are all free tools that I recommend because I don't ever want to hear a woman especially say, oh, I can't do that. I can't afford it. These are all free tools that I promote. So let me give you the
Great.
last word. And I hope I hope that when we reschedule, that you'll come and share a story about love, maybe, because that's a new hashtag.
Absolutely. Well, I would just I would just say if you are fearful during this time or if you're fearful about anything, think about what the other side of that fear, the opposite side of fear means to you. How can you get to the other side? What can you embrace that is going to help you? And remember that fear cannot stop your purpose. Even if you're fearful, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, I believe in God, is going to help you get there and put the right people in your path and the right things in your path. So I would say definitely keep that in mind about fear. And lastly, I would just say to stay safe, everyone. This is something that we will get through. It's tough right now, but stay focused, stay determined, and think beyond coronavirus.
Amen to that. So
All right.
one time, just let me know where someone can find you. Where is the fastest way to connect with you on what social media platform?
I'd say LinkedIn or Facebook are the best, or probably the ones I spend the time I do spend on social media on. You know, so
Okay.
LinkedIn or Facebook, and believe me, I'm the only Tricetta you will find on either place. So
I love your name. It's always sounds so lyrical. Amy sounds really bland, but Trisetta sounds very regal, in my
oh,
opinion. So,
thank you. I thank my mom and dad for that one.
Well, it's time for us to hang up, I guess, on Zoom. I'm so glad that if you were able to watch on one of these live streams, I'm so glad you joined us. And I'm so thankful for your attention. And I hope, as Thresette just said, I hope everyone stays safe and has a great week.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again, Amy. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so I just ended the Zoom meeting, but I believe we're still recording on my channels. So while that's converting the meeting, this is the open broadcasting software program that I mentioned. And if you see here, it says stop streaming. I'm going to click that.